the word angel itself denotes a function rather than a nature. And so the very name angel itself tells us what the angels do. They are messengers, which illustrates the point. The angels live up to their name. They appear as messengers at the most pivotal moments in salvation history. Recall the Annunciation, the Garden of Gethsemane, when the angels ministered to Christ. And of course, who could forget that beautiful scene of the Nativity? The angels appear to the shepherds. And these are just a few examples that are taken from the New Testament. There are certainly many other ones as well, all of which going to show us that when it comes to salvation history, the angels are all over the place. Oh yes, the angels keep a very, very busy schedule, much busier than priests, huh? And yet, ironically, the angels, those magnificent creatures, so active in our lives and in God's providential plan, are so often neglected and forgotten by most people. Listen to how Cardinal Newman describes the angels in one of his sermons. He writes, "The angels are actively employed among us in the church. They are said to be ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation," a quote from Hebrews. And he goes on to say, "No Christian is so humble but that he has angels to attend to him if he lives by faith and by love. Though they are so great, so glorious, so pure, so wonderful, that the very sight of them, if we were allowed to see them, would strike us to the earth, yet they are our fellow servants and our fellow workers, and they carefully watch over and defend even the humblest of us, if we be Christ." Oh yes, do not forget about the angels. How marvelous it is that each one of us has an angel to care for us. And let me say that some of us have kept our angels quite busy, right? But having said all of that, we must pause and ask ourselves some important questions. What do the angels teach us today? What does their existence mean for us as we celebrate this feast day? Well, I think it's safe to say that the existence of the angels teaches us and reminds us of two very important realities. The first reality being a reality about ourselves, and the second being a reality about God. So let's take a look at these two things and see what we can discover. Firstly, the angels remind us of something about ourselves. The fact that we are not the center of the universe. It's an important thing to keep in mind. Oftentimes we can live with the illusion that we human beings, funny creatures that we are the center of the cosmos. And it's an illusion which is in large part the effect of original sin. This was the problem of the disciples this morning. Who of us is going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? My belly button is the center of the cosmos, okay? I had a professor in seminary who called this meology as opposed to theology. It's about oneself. We are all inherently self-focused. It's part of our wounded nature. And so the angels remind us of our place in creation, of the fact that we are really quite small, and in a certain sense, rather insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But the angels also teach us something else. The angels implicitly teach us something about God, the fact that God is humble. Think about that for a moment. If you and I were God, I know that's a scary thought, it's actually appalling, but stick with me. If you and I were God, and we had a choice to take on an angelic nature or to become a human being, which one would we choose? I think it's safe to say that for most of us here, there wouldn't be much of a decision to make. We'd all want to be numbered among the angels, and certainly not the fallen ones. We'd all want to be among the angels. And you know, it's understandable. Just think of some of the benefits. No suffering. No bodily inconveniences. That becomes more appealing as we get older. Immense intelligence. Directly infused knowledge. I think Father John Paul and I would agree that this would have been a very useful gift in the seminary, to have infused knowledge. They have the works. Everything is there. But this was not what God chose to become. This is not what God chose to become when he came. When in the fullness of time, the Son of God, the second person of the Blessed Trinity, was born of a woman in a small rocky cave in the no-name town of Nazareth. How mysterious, how humble is our God, and how grateful we should be that he is. And why is that? Well, because of the fact that God is humble. We have something that the angels don't have, a treasure of immense and incalculable worth. Even in our poverty and in our pain, we are much richer than the most magnificent of the angels, the most powerful among the angels, because we possess the gift of Christ himself. Saint Maximilian Kolbe, that great Franciscan saint, once wrote, "If angels could be jealous of men, they would be so for one reason: Holy Communion. Holy Communion." Oh my, that's something to think about. What a precious gift he has given to men. And so today, on this great feast, we honor the angels. Yes, absolutely, we should honor the angels. But let us also rejoice to be men. After all, did not the Son of God choose to dwell among us? Will we not hear in a few moments those beautifully consoling words, Corpus Christi, this is my body given for you? The question is, do we open our hearts? Do we hear him as he speaks to us? My child, will you receive me? I have given myself, my heart, my body, blood, soul, and divinity for you.